Everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dylan James. I'm a mindset coach that loves to focus on relationships. How are you? You guys are getting daily videos from me now. But yesterday we talked about the importance of allowing yourself to be seen, allowing yourself to embrace success into your life, your ability to uphold boundaries, and the relationship that you have with mistakes. That was general advice that can translate into so many different aspects of your life. Today, I want to talk about some foundational beliefs that will save you a lot of headache and heartache when it comes to romantic relationships. And this applies whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, you're going to want to have beliefs augmented in this regard. Now, keep in mind, I have probably worked with over 1,000 people, and I'm also a human being that has had my fair share of relationship experiences and personal development. And so I'm sharing these tips based off of what I commonly see people struggle with. And there's a few things that I've realized that go into creating a successful relationship. At the core of it is maintaining mutual respect. The moment that disrespect starts to evolve within a relationship, whether no matter what side it's coming from, if that is not addressed in a stable manner, you're going to see the relationship progressively gets worse and worse and worse because the person being disrespectful and the person that allows that disrespect to occur are both going to lose attraction for each other in different ways. Essentially, the more that somebody allows themselves to be disrespected, the person that's being disrespectful is going to lose attraction, and it typically causes this chaser, runner, hot and cold type of dynamic that we can totally avoid. And so when we're thinking about making adjustments within our self-concept and living in the end of a different version of ourself, a huge component to maintaining, I don't know why I'm messing with this shirt. Let me just stop. Okay. A huge component to maintaining healthy dynamics is being able to maintain respect within a dynamic, which means this is related to what I was talking about yesterday, being able to uphold boundaries when needed. Now, I'm going to give you a few examples of beliefs that you can begin to adjust that go into the relationship dynamics that you create. And the first topic I'm going to start off with is actually respect. So beliefs like it's becoming normal for me to create mutual respecting dynamics within my relationship. I'm becoming only attracted to people that display consistent, loving, respectful behaviors. Now, let me explain that, okay? Because when we go in the direction of I'm becoming only attracted to people that display consistent, loving, respectful behaviors, what that means is in a dynamic, when somebody presents disrespectful and not loving you properly, instead of internalizing that and playing a game with them and trying to get them to treat you properly, what you're going to do is begin to shift into a version of yourself that realizes this is nothing I have to deal with. This is nothing I'm attracted to. Because of that, you're going to be able to uphold boundaries and remove yourself in a way that allows for this person to adjust and rise up to meet you where you are. And if they don't, we don't care. Bye. Okay. So, most likely, though, you're going to see that they do rise up and meet you where you are because we inherently find it very attractive when people are self-respecting and willing to honor themselves over sacrificing themselves for another. That's why this is important because in a relationship, you're going to consistently evolve and grow with a person, and you want to make sure with every level that you're growing with this person that you maintain a respectful, loving dynamic. And so, again, beliefs that are related to that are it's becoming easier for me to remain self-respecting in any dynamic that I form. Okay. I'm choosing to respect and honor myself over losing myself for another. I'm realizing that remaining self-respecting is the most attractive thing that I can do. When you really fearlessly adopt these beliefs, you're going to begin to move very differently. You're not going to play into games. You're not going to internalize somebody's disrespect. You're going to be able to really adjust yourself in a way that shows I'm not the one. I am the one. Okay. I'm the one that I'm the one, but I'm not that one. Okay. Um, to piggyback off of that, that's also related to boundaries. Okay, so it's becoming easier for me to uphold boundaries because I'm only creating respectful dynamics I'm realizing that I can uphold boundaries, say no, and still be loved. I'm realizing that upholding boundaries and upholding my standards is the most attractive thing that I can do. Now, when you really fearlessly step into this way of identifying and operating, what happens is you cut out a lot of the BS and the headache. You're just not willing to play into games. Again, you're going to consistently set an example within your relationships that shows, I deserve to be respected and I'm willing to lose anybody or anything that does not show up for me properly. That really causes people to show up for you differently. And think about it. We create dynamics over time with people. And so the foundation of a relationship is mutual respect. There's some other things, I'm going to bring them up in a moment. Okay. If we start to form a negative attachment and value somebody over our ability to respect ourselves, then inherently we're going to set an example that it is okay to treat me like crap. And it's usually going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. Things are going on and you're afraid to say something because you don't want to create problems. But in that effort of silencing yourself and accepting the things that you don't want, you're setting an example that it's okay to disrespect me and I'm not going to have boundaries, so you can do whatever you want to me. And generally, the treatment gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Okay, again, your self-concept creates the world in which you live. People are just messengers to that. Don't try to change them, make an adjustment within yourself, and they will confirm that change. That means in every moment, you're setting an example. And if we are not able to normalize respectful dynamics and uphold boundaries in the right moments, then we're going to start to set an example where we accept things that we don't want. Respect starts to lessen within a relationship, and a lot of really messed up toxic dynamics start to materialize that are just a complete headache. Okay. So, absolutely. When it comes to creating a healthy, sustainable relationship, we want to make sure that we have beliefs related to creating and only entertaining respectful dynamics and our ability to uphold boundaries and remain self-respecting because we understand that's the most attractive thing that we can do. And it is. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about that goes into maintaining a healthy relationship are trust and communication. Okay. And so to me, all of these things are kind of intertwined because if I start losing respect for you, I'm going to start trusting you less and I'm going to have, issues with communicating with you in a clear, authentic, and honest way. That's why I brought up respect first and boundaries, because if we can get those two things in place, then we're always going to be clear within our communication. And because we're setting a healthy example and we're being transparent, we're going to build trust and we're going to build healthy communication. But obviously, we want to have beliefs surrounding those areas of our life as well too. Now, with trust, I think it's really important to discern how you're wording this. Okay. So I wouldn't do things like it's easy for me to trust everybody because people deserve to earn your trust. And there's some people here that we shouldn't trust. Okay. I find it really useful to do beliefs like it's becoming easier for me to trust the right people when they display consistent loving behaviors. So essentially, what you're doing with your mind is you're designing a belief that allows your mind to search for evidence, okay, consistent loving behaviors. And once it sees those things, it's going to naturally bring you into a state of trusting because your mind's gathered enough evidence to support that way of operating with particular people. And so those are really, really useful beliefs or it's becoming easier for my nervous system to allow me to trust and love the right people. Okay. And again, people can grow and change. And so this is important. That added layer of context is important because when somebody's not acting like the right person, instead of lying to yourself, bending on your boundaries, accepting disrespect, you're going to set an example that, hey, if you want to be in my life, you have to operate in these ways, and you're not operating like the right type of person that I'm going to entertain. So I'm going to remove myself. You can rise up to meet me where I am, but I'm not going to internalize this treatment. I'm going to continue to move forward. Again, setting a very solid example for who you are and what you deserve. Okay. With communication, those are things related to being seen too. So I'm normalizing the experience of being genuinely seen. I'm normalizing the experience of being heard within my relationships. It's becoming easier for me to communicate in a clear, authentic, and regulated way. That could even be have to do with things related to challenges or being able to overcome challenges and problems within a relationship. So if you grew up in an environment where there was not really healthy communication and problems generally spiraled out into bigger and bigger issues, then reinforcing healthy beliefs surrounding being supported, heard, and people working through problems with you is going to really help. So it's becoming a normal experience for the people that I'm in relationships with to work through issues with me. I'm beginning to anticipate that the right people are going to listen to me and seek to create solutions with me in my relationships. Okay. So when you're looking at creating healthy, sustainable dynamics within your relationships, if you can really ask yourself, what types of dynamics you're entertaining, are they actually respectful? And if they're not, we want to build beliefs around that. We want to really assess, are we able to uphold healthy boundaries? Are we able to extend trust when it's appropriate? And can we establish healthy lines of communication? If you can do those things, you're going to avoid a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Okay, you're not going to accept things that you don't want to accept. You're not going to be sitting here questioning. You're going to have an accurate discernment on what's going on, and you're going to be able to adjust yourself in the ways that you need to before things spiral out of control and become very hurtful. Okay, so just remember, you're setting an example on a moment-to-moment basis based on who you believe you are and what you believe about different areas of your life that shows people what is or is not acceptable. And so we want to make sure we're setting an example that is respectful, loving, able to trust we should, when somebody's displayed behaviors that allow for that trust, and we're able to communicate in clear ways. If you can get those things in alignment, you're going to be very happy. All right. I love you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you all later.